Hello, good afternoon. My name is Justin Finnerty. I'm the Assistant Director for Employer and Alumni Engagement for the Student Engagement and Career Development Office. We're glad that you could join us today for the Navigating Virtual Career Fairs workshop that we've set up. You're probably already aware by now that, with COVID-19 and the global pandemic, we've shifted not only your learning in your classes to the online environment, but all of our employers that are recruiting students from the university have also moved to an online environment for career fairs. So today we're going to go over a little bit about the system that is used for these fairs and talk about some of the critical things that the steps that you can take or need to take in advance to have the best success during whichever virtual event you are choosing to participate in. It used to be when we were able to do these in person that showing up to the career fair with very little preparation could work, being able to walk around and meet with a bunch of companies in one space. But because of the online environment, there's a lot more structure that's been put in place. So there's a number of things that you need to do in advance. And so we're going to go over some best practices today. And here with me to do that is my colleague, Bailey. Bailey, why don't I have you introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Bailey Rollins. I'm the on-campus recruiting coordinator for employer and alumni engagement with student engagement and career development.
Hi, how are you?
Good. All right, well, we are going to go ahead and get started, and I'll just start the session with a brief overview of the agenda. So we're going to talk about the different career fairs coming up, as well as dates and other options that you have. Then we're going to move into a quick demo where we're going to go over how to set up your schedule. And then we'll end with some best practices and leave a majority of the time up for questions.
Okay, thank you. Sounds good.
So as you can see that there are a lot of options coming up for Spring Career Days. This is actually not all of the possibilities that you have. If you go into Handshake using the Career Fair tab, there are a lot more going on as well. These are some that we personally oversee in our office. In addition to that, you'll see a Know Before You Go mixer up at the top. This is an opportunity to meet employers attending the career fair prior to the actual career fair dates, and that is on February 4th from 4:30 to 5:30. We also have our nonprofit and green fair, our all majors, which is clustered based on industry, and then our education fair and a STEM day. So what are your options? When you go into Handshake, which we'll demo in just a moment, there's going to be a couple different options that you'll be able to see. And you are going to be the owner of your own schedule throughout this entire experience. So you kind of dictate how you want to spend your time, whether that be between the two different options of one-on-one sessions or group sessions. So a one-on-one session is by default a 10-minute session with just you and an employer. The group sessions are also by default 30 minutes. And that's more of an explore opportunity with you and a bunch of other students that are interested in that employer as well, where you can come and kind of ask your questions live and learn about opportunities that employers are having in their company. So some things to note about the difference between these sessions. So one-on-ones can have qualifications on them, and qualifications can be anything from your graduation date to your GPA to your major and things like that. So we work very heavily with a lot of different employers that recruit through the university, and we also have been giving them sessions on best practices and have told them to use qualifications sparingly, just because we do know that it prevents students from having a one-on-one with them. Another thing to note is that those qualifications drop 48 hours before the fair begins. So if you have an employer that you're really wanting to speak with one-on-one and you don't see that session available, there's two things that could be happening. You don't fit those qualifications or they're full. So definitely be checking back pretty frequently to see if you can still secure a one-on-one session with them. And if not, be sure to join the group session and maybe ask for that one-on-one time at a different point in the day. All right, so as I mentioned, we're going to be doing the majority of this session through a live demo in Handshake. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and we're going to hop over to Handshake. Okay, so are we seeing Handshake and all the different options? Great. All right, so when you first come into it, this is going to be your homepage that you see. And you're going to go ahead and click on events. And in every different area of Handshake, they give you some frequently used filters. And one of them is career fairs. So you can just go ahead and click career fairs. And as I mentioned before, there's some on that list that we shared initially that are in here, and they're all going to be using the same technology. So everything you're learning today is applicable to every career fair that's in the system. So you'll see a list of different career fairs going on. And you can go ahead and select which ones you want to register for. You can register for 1 or 4. It really is up to you and your interests and what you're wanting to do career-wise. So as you can see on the right of my screen, I've registered for quite a few different career fairs. And I'm just going to show you real quickly what that looks like to register for a fair.
So just real quick, students who come in for the first time are not going to have that list of things on the right side like Bailey has. It'll be blank until you go and register. She's already been in here and has already registered for these fairs on the right.
Yeah.
All right. So I have not registered for 2021 Eller Career Showcase. So I'm just going to show you what that looks like. So every single one will just have this purple register button, and all you have to do is click it. It's as simple as that. And then it will populate on the right of that page that we were on before. And that will also allow you to see all of the different employer sessions that are available. You won't be able to see any sessions or group sessions until you register. Additionally, I like this page a lot. This is the landing page, and every career fair has one of these, and it essentially shows you all of your different resources that you have, different things that are coming up prior, and who you can contact if you're having any issues as well. All right, so I am ready to schedule some sessions for the All Majors Day. So I'm going to go ahead and click into the fair. And there's 3 different options that you have up here underneath the fair details. You can choose to look through, as I mentioned before, the different resources that our department offers, as well as some other workshops that you can utilize prior. There's also an opportunity to explore career clusters. So I mentioned that our All Majors Day is clustered based on industry, and this link takes you to our webpage that goes over these different clusters in more depth. So what types of roles are included in there, and what potential career paths you could find within each industry. So then we're also going to see up here available sessions and then your schedule. Available sessions is going to show you all of the different employers attending and your options that you have in terms of interaction with them. So again, if you're not seeing a one-on-one option, that could be because they're out of sessions or they set qualifications that you just maybe missed. So I currently don't have any sessions that I'm signed up for, and I can see that right here on the right of my page. And I'm really interested in meeting with the University of Arizona. And I would like to pick a time to meet with Justin. So I'm going to pick 11:10. And if you are in a different time zone, just make sure that you know that Handshake does equate for that. So it will show you your time zones versus Arizona's. I'm obviously in Arizona, so it's going to show me that time zone. But as soon as I signed up for it, it populated on the side here. So I can go ahead and do back-to-back one-on-one sessions all day if I wanted to, or I could go and find, so say I'm not sure about exactly what E&J Gallo has to offer, but I am interested in them and learning more about their sales leadership development program. So I can go ahead and click on the group session, and then I click confirm, and that also populates into my sessions. So once you've secured that, you can go ahead and change your mind if you want by canceling. And on the day of, you're going to be able to see your schedule. And next to each one of your open sessions is going to say join video, and it will be blue on the day of the fair. And that's how you get into your one-on-one session. It's really, really easy. However, you're going to want to test your technology prior to the career fair. And we will be sending you an email more than once on how to test your technology before the fair. All right. Are there any questions at this time about selecting one-on-ones, group sessions, the difference between them?
Feel free to use the chat or go ahead and unmute yourself if you'd like to speak.
I'm good, but thank you though.
Yeah. So I just wanted to point out a couple of different things that happen in Handshake that can really help and support your experience for virtual career fairs. So say I went into this all majors day and I saw an employer on this list that I didn't see had group sessions available, and I also did not see any one-on-ones available. And I'm wondering, okay, so when are they going to put those in? How will I know? And that's really easy too. So you can follow any of these employers just by clicking the follow button. You'll get notifications right up at the top of your screen it will give you a nice little red dot. And every employer you follow, it will let you know. And it will let you know a lot of details about what that employer is doing. So whether they've posted sessions, group sessions, or if they are attending different days of the career fairs, if they've posted jobs, or if they're hosting any events outside of the career fair during that week, which a lot of them tend to do that. So it's great to be in the know.
Hey, I have a question really fast. Can you subscribe to like an email for it? Or like when you subscribe, will it send you emails to like your registered email?
Yeah, so it does send you emails if you've selected that in your preferences. So there's notification preferences in your settings, and you can turn emails on and off and kind of dictate what types of emails are sent to you. So if you have those on, you'll get your notifications sent straight to your email.
Okay, thanks.
And I know sometimes it seems like there's a lot of emails coming, but if you want to turn it on just for for the few weeks that you are planning your career fair experience, that's a great thing to do just for that specific time period. Okay, so another thing I wanted to go ahead and show you all is we have gone ahead and clustered the jobs that are going to be available at each day. So you can use those labels and find out what jobs are going to be available that employers that are attending the career fair have posted in the system. So you'll just scroll all the way down to labels. It's going to look a lot like these ones right here. So 2020 fall career days, ours will be 2021 spring career days. And we're in the process of labeling those. We get new ones in every week. And then we're also going to have them labeled based on those clusters that we talked about earlier. Also, if you are looking for other events that are related to the Career Fair Week, you can find those just through the Events tab, as well as finding workshops that are going to help you. So, for example, if I typed in resume, here's a resume ready workshop coming up on Friday, February 5th that I can attend. And the resume is important to have ready and uploaded for a couple of different reasons. I'm going to go ahead and show you what everything looks like from an employer perspective, just so you know what they're seeing.
And while Bailey's pulling that up, you should know that as we're working with companies as well as who are registering for Handshake and registering for our fairs, they're asking us, obviously, how do they connect with candidates? So employers have an ability to search student profiles in Handshake. And so it's also a good idea to make sure that your student profile is up to date in Handshake. And as Bailey's showing, that you have a resume uploaded, because that's how employers can learn a little bit more about you. And actually, they have the ability to contact up to so many students per semester through Handshake, students who have experiences and skills that they are looking for. So for multiple reasons, it's good to have your profile up to date in Handshake and a resume up there and published so that folks can see that if you're currently in the job or intern search process.
Yeah. So this is what they see from their end. So they can go ahead and toggle between RSVPs. And that means that you have either signed up for a group session with them or you've signed up for a one-on-one with them. And they can click on all of you or a select few of you and choose to download all of your resumes so that they can review them prior to actually meeting with each of you individually. And so if you have your resume ready and uploaded, then you'll be included in that download. Additionally, they can see your profiles from their session setup. So you saw that I signed up for one of Justin's sessions earlier. It's really, really good to have a picture of yourself uploaded to your Handshake profile, because otherwise it's just a blank person. And then also having that profile filled out. So they can go ahead and click to view, and they can see all of your experience as well as your skills and your major. Obviously, there are things that are private to you. So you choose if you want to show your GPA on Handshake, and you fill in these experiences on Handshake. So when you upload your resume, it actually gives you an option to populate these sections with your resume. And so it's that simple. You can go in and edit if as needed, but it does populate these areas for you just by simply uploading your resume. And as Justin mentioned, employers can reach out and message you and invite you to either sign up for a group session, sign up for a one-on-one session, or just say hi because you already have signed up for one of those sessions. And those messages pop up right here if they have. Also, because this is a video platform, we just like to encourage students as a best practice to be professionally dressed and also have your video on when meeting with the employers. I know sometimes it can seem a little daunting, but they're there to learn about you. They're there to chat with you. So yeah. And then a lot of times we get questions on what you should spend those 10-minute sessions on. We also have workshops around practicing your pitch as well as getting your LinkedIn profile ready. And I'll share the dates of those in just a moment, but they can also be found through the events. Additionally, if you're unable to make some of those workshops or you'd like some one-on-one support with our office, you just click on Career Center. And then you'd click on Appointments. and you'd schedule a new appointment. And all you have to do is put details about what exactly you'd like your appointment to be focused on, whether that's going over your pitch with a professional, practicing virtual interviewing skills, or just looking over that resume. And there's lots of different modes that you can have that appointment in, whether that's via email, Zoom, or a phone call. All right. Any questions that I can demo for you in Handshake before we pop over to the presentation?
I came in a little bit late, right when you were talking about scheduling those individual and group sessions. Does that pop up once we've registered for the event, and then those signups become available?
Yeah, I can go ahead and run through that really quickly again. So you'd go into your main page here and you'd click on events, and then you can filter for career fairs.
Yep. Okay.
And then, yeah, so then you'd click into this.
Garrett, is there a
And
specific one you're planning on attending?
I think I will definitely be going to the STEM one, and then I need to just review the employers for the all majors day.
yeah. But yeah, Garrett, as you can see, I can't see any sessions right now. I can view employers attending. I just can't sign up for one-on-ones or group sessions with them until I click the register button. And then it immediately asks you if you'd like to view those sessions.
So it just changes the format for us. Cool.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
so it's not like an extensive registration process or anything.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure I didn't need to go somewhere special for those later on. But thank you.
Right. Yeah.
And then just real quick while we're here, Bailey, if you'll scroll down, I'll go back and scroll down just to those sessions real quick. So just to recap again, something that Bailey had mentioned earlier is that this is going to show you the companies that have available one-on-ones or group sessions that you're eligible to sign up for. Sometimes this might not be available to you, the company's participating, but you can't sign up for anything. Bailey mentioned earlier that could be a couple things that have happened. One, they could be full already, so you're not able to get onto that schedule. Two, the company might have qualifications associated with their one-on-ones, so they only want to meet with specific individuals, and your profile doesn't meet their qualifications. That would also prevent you from seeing those slots. Do know that Handshake has come out with a new update for this spring that Handshake will remove qualifications from a one-on-one session 48 hours before that session. So it is a great idea for students and candidates to continuously be checking back into Handshake, A, looking for new employers to get added and new schedules to get added as the date gets closer, but B, also 48 hours before whichever fair you're attending, those qualifications for many of those one-on-ones will be removed and something else may become eligible to you.
All right. Thank you, Justin, for reiterating. Okay. So as I mentioned, we are just going to briefly go over some best practices for the day of the career fairs. So sign up for your one-on-ones and group sessions early, and try to have the best etiquette about cancellations and no-shows. So we know things happen sometimes, and we know that sometimes those things that happen are unpredictable. But in terms of etiquette, just make sure that if you are planning on not attending an employer session, that you go in and cancel it prior so that a different student can potentially take that slot. So you can sign up for slots 2 minutes prior to them starting. So say you're in your schedule, you're looking around, you have an upcoming one-on-one, and then you notice an employer that was prioritized a little bit higher, has a one-on-one session available and you want to switch. You do have the opportunity to switch, but again, just be checking in there pretty frequently so that employers don't feel like they've missed out on other students because you decided not to show up to that one-on-one session and or you canceled it too soon to the start time. So again, those qualifications that are restricting you, just make sure you're following the employers that you want to meet with and checking back. You're always welcome to come into our Zoom help room and receive additional information about the different recruiters that are attending for those companies. And so if you aren't able to connect with them immediately due to restrictions or just the sessions are full, whatever it may be, you can pop into that Zoom help room and we will definitely do our best to connect you. Upload your resume, make sure that you feel confident in your resume, and you can do that by attending any of our workshops surrounding resumes or meeting with a career educator. Utilizing our 2021 Career Fair Jobs label to filter through those jobs. Applying to a job prior to the career fair speaks volumes to employers. It shows that you're doing your due diligence in terms of researching the company, what positions they have available, and you're ready for next steps. So it really does propel you through that process faster. And then make sure you're planning appropriate breaks for yourself so that you do not come to that point where you're very tired and you are having to no show to one of those one-on-ones. So make sure that you're realistic about your time and your energy. And then test your technology. So again, just be looking out for those emails that come through with the link to test your technology in Handshake prior to the fairs. As I mentioned, we do have that Zoom help desk room. So we will be sending out a link. The link also will live on the main career fair page. So if you don't want to search through your emails the day of, just go to that main page of the career fair you're attending, and there will be a link available for you to click that will take you to that virtual help desk. Will be available an hour before the fair starts and a half hour after the fair ends. We will also have career educators in that room with us that can connect with you on anything professional development related. And again, as I mentioned, we do have upcoming career fair prep workshops. If you miss out on any of these, feel free to schedule a one-on-one appointment with one of our career educators or peer educators.
Well, great. Thanks, Bailey, for walking us through that. We always leave plenty of time for questions. We can do additional screen shares if you're having any issues or have any questions and like to show us something. Otherwise, if you don't have any other questions, we look forward to your participation in the upcoming fairs. And as Bailey said, we are going to make ourselves available with the Zoom help desks at each event. So you'll have that opportunity then as well. But if anything comes up between now and then, we would encourage you to for surely reach out to us.
Hi, I have a question.
Go ahead, shoot.
Cool. Okay, so since we've obviously moved on to this online mode for one-on-ones and interviews, do you have any suggestions besides like a good elevator pitch and just a common relationship to forge like a memorable connection? Like anything related to like, it's obviously when you're communicating and connecting with someone in person, like they can kind of like read your energy, your demeanor. Like, do you have any suggestions for like over Zoom? Like what would be, just like something to like kind of make you stand out or just something to keep in mind? That's it.
That's a great question. And I think that's a struggle for a lot of people right now, whether that's, you know, being in an interview or just meeting someone for the first time. I know for myself personally, I like to add a fun component. Obviously, stay professional, but I like to add like a fun question when they ask, like, do you have any questions for me? I'll ask like my professional questions that I really do have like intention of knowing more about their company. And then of course, like I'll ask like a fun one. Just so that they can see like either what I'm interested in or we can connect over a commonly shared interest or hobby.
Okay.
Justin, do you have anything?
Yeah, yeah, that's great. I mean, Bailey mentioned that little personal touch, right? Because that's how you really can forge that connection, that relationship. Um, and so a couple other things just to keep in mind is, understanding how you plan on answering questions too. Like, we definitely recommend that you practice the STAR method so that you can talk thoroughly about, various situations and tasks, actions, and results of things that you have done, that you've worked on, projects or capstones or class things, so that you can really articulate to employers about your experiences. And you already mentioned your pitch, so make sure you've developed a pitch. That's that first thing, right? The old saying, you never get a second chance to make a good first impression. And so making sure that you've jotted down your pitch and even practiced it. I mean, it doesn't have to be recited word for word, because you don't want to be like robotic and scripted, but you do want to be confident in, introducing yourself, who you are, your little bit about your interests and things like that. The other things would just be, I think they're pretty normal things. Make sure that you're on time, right? Make sure that you're dressed nice. Have a nice space for you to be doing the meetings without distraction, without, hopefully no one's running back behind or animals, coming through.
So that's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep. I mean, there is that personal piece, as Bailey mentioned. Yes, you be yourself, right?
Maybe they like your cat.
There's also a professional piece that goes into that as well. And so then, and then just really having done your research. I think that's what Bailey said earlier about having applied for the position. And then you go into that conversation and you already have some detail about the organization, what you like about them. Maybe, I don't know, maybe a family member or a friend or someone else has already worked there or had an internship there, and you already have this inside knowledge. Those are the types of things that are really going to help you.
Okay.
Yeah. And it helps to surpass that piece that they have to do over and over again. So the majority of people they meet with have not researched their company, have not looked into the jobs and that's their conversation is, taking up that 10 minutes to just tell a student what their positions are. So if you know that, you can move on to making that more personal connection. So I definitely think that's a good thing to do.
And then we'd also recommend our career educators are holding a 5 tips for virtual interviews workshop next week on the 2nd. And so if you'd want to go and learn more, they'll go over a lot of things that we just talked about, right? The pitch and the STAR method and those things. But you definitely want to take advantage of that if you want to kind of flesh that out a little bit more.
Yeah. All right. Well,
And this is my last suggestion, because I know we've given you so many for this one question. But we we have a tool called Big Interview, and it's a self-paced platform where you can practice your pitch and record yourself, and then get feedback on your performance, as well as just watch it yourself. So you might notice some things that you would have noticed normally that kind of inhibit that connection, or maybe you're like, oh man, I am too robotic, or wow, I make this weird face with my eyebrows. There's so many things, right, that you might notice that you didn't before. So definitely suggest utilizing that resource too.
Cool, I appreciate it. I do have another question, but I want to wait till if anyone else has a question to ask.
You go ahead.
Okay, cool. From someone who's educating other people in career development and providing insight, do you guys have any books that you would recommend as like a good tool to refer back to? Because I know when I don't have as much direction in something I want to do, I refer to people who are who I respect in a certain field to maybe something they wrote about to provide me with some direction. So if you guys have any books, I've heard The Third Door by Alex Benayan is really good. Just stuff like that, chop wood, carry water. I don't know if that resonates with anyone, but yeah.
So it sounds like you're soul searching. You're looking to find. Are you trying to kind of get that inner connection and help with that direction on what it is that you want to do or where you want to go from here? Yeah. And there's a lot of great readings out there. First off, if you haven't had the opportunity, I would definitely recommend our career educators. They're great to work with on a one-on-one and have those types of conversations, and even make those referrals and recommendations of books and resources. And you can make those an appointment virtually through Handshake, both with either a career coach or a peer educator. We have both options available for that. In this case, for me in particular, there's a book that I've used for years. It's actually quite dated, but it's a workbook of sorts too, because it takes you through a lot of steps and activities. It's called "What Color Is Your Parachute" by Richard Bowles.
Look at that in my notes.
And so again, it's specific to this whole career decision-making process, and kind of, looking at how to assess different things and understanding yourself. So that's a good one. And that's been around in the career development area. Career counselors have used that for a long time.
Awesome. I appreciate that.
And I'm not sure like what year you are or where you stand in terms of your collegiate experience yet, but I'm also going to suggest that you do some virtual interviewing with some people that you're interested in career-wise, and we also have options for that too. I'm not. Are you a senior or?
Yeah, I'm a senior right now.
Okay. So we have the Bear Down Network, which has a lot of alumni on it that are actually looking to connect with students just like you that have these questions, and they're more than willing to share answers about their experience, about their own journey career-wise, how they made decisions. But Justin oversees the whole entire program that does virtual informational interviews with professionals. So that's also a great tool to use when you're just trying to explore and figure things out too.
Okay, cool. I appreciate